Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. The turmoil in the Middle East is continuing to escalate as Turkey has just approved a bill to send thousands of soldiers to Qatar. Of course, this follows Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and other Sunni Arab states breaking off relations with the pariah-turned Gulf state. All Qatar's land borders are now closed, and as Saudi Arabia and the UAE were its biggest food suppliers, it's now looking for other countries to import food from. Just yesterday, the Turkish parliament passed legislation to deploy troops to its military base in Qatar in a show of support with its ally. Of course, Saudi Arabia is saying that if Qatar wants good relations with its neighbors, it must stop supporting Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. According to Saudi Foreign Minister Adel Al-Jubeir, Qatar's continued financial and diplomatic support for these Islamist groups undermines the stability of the Palestinian Authority and Egypt. Now, Hamas is on the defensive, protesting that their only focus is the liberation of Jerusalem from Israel. Israel has not gotten involved in this conflict, but more pressure on Hamas can't be a bad thing from their perspective. Still, it's not all just about Qatar's support for Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. Their closeness to Iran and their Al Jazeera satellite channel with its arguably pro-jihadi line are also unacceptable to most Sunni Arab states. Nikki Haley's visit to Israel is making waves. Although the United States ambassador to the UN has been one of the strongest supporters of Israel in the Trump administration, she's now saying that her boss, United States President Donald Trump, sees a Jerusalem embassy move as part and parcel of an Israeli-Palestinian peace process. Her announcement that the United States is reviewing its participation in the UN Human Rights Council is also music to the ears of most Israelis. Haley's trips to the borders of the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip in the south and Hezbollah-controlled Lebanon in the north are sending a strong message to the world about the nature of the U.S.-Israel relationship. Yesterday, she met with the Palestinian Prime Minister in Ramallah, although she did not meet with the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. For Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Haley's actions at the UN have proven her to be a strong friend of Israel, and he says she's standing up for Israel, for the truth, and for America. Mayor Jürgen Krogman of the German city of Oldenburg has just canceled 2 B.D.S events that had been scheduled to take place the following week. The municipal government released a statement saying that the events had been canceled because of concerns that, quote, a large number of the supporters of B.D.S, the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, hold anti-Semitic positions, end quote. Mayor Krogman stressed that, quote, so long as it cannot be clarified that the B.D.S movement officially and publicly does not question Israel's right to exist, such events cannot take place in the city facilities, end quote. B.D.S speakers have been slated to give a talk at the PFL Cultural Center next week to discuss, quote, Palestinian suffering and how the injustice can be stopped, as well as Israel's military industry, end quote. The mayor stressed B.D.S events are unacceptable as they would strain Oldenburg's relationship with the Jewish state and the Mate Asher Regional Council in the Western Galilee. The B.D.S events had been organized by a local public school teacher, Christoph Glanz, along with the executive board of the local teachers union, who have continually supported a comprehensive boycott of Israel. Both the Simon Wiesenthal Center and the Social Democratic Bundestag deputy, Michaela Engelmeyer, have called Glanz an anti-Semite. Sears has announced that it will stop selling Free Palestine shirts after receiving numerous complaints from customers. The retail giant had been selling clothes bearing the slogan Free Palestine and various other pro-Palestinian messages through Sears Marketplace, a platform that allows the company to sell clothing originating from third parties. Many of the designs included a clenched fist of the colors of the Palestinian flag and statements opposing the Israeli occupation. The apparel was produced by Spreadshirt Collection, which still sells many of the same items through Amazon. In a statement released to the press, the company noted that it serves, quote, a broad base of customers around the country and around the world, end quote, and that it has close to 200 employees in Israel. In an incredible new discovery that is rewriting human history as we know it, the Israel Antiquities Authority has just revealed that Neanderthals conducted much of their life out in the open landscape. More specifically, Neanderthals in the Levant were not just simple cavemen as they've come to be known. According to the press release, quote, the study focused on the skeletal remains of 2 human individuals from the open-air site of Ein Kashish on the banks of the Kishon stream in northern Israel. The analyses show that these bones represent the first Neanderthal remains outside caves in the Levant and are among the very few of such finds worldwide. The remains were dated to the late Middle Paleolithic period between 70,000 and 60,000 years ago by Dr. Naomi Porat from the Geological Survey of Israel, end quote. These new findings call into question much that we thought we knew about our early ancestry. Among the chief theories put under the microscope is the story of how the Neanderthals died out. The popular theory is that they had a difficult time adapting to the new climate at that time period. The study also adds tremendous amounts of color to the picture of the Neanderthals' cohabitation with early modern humanity. One thing is for sure though, according to this study, quote, despite possible genetic flow between Neanderthal and early Homo sapiens populations and climatic fluctuations, the Neanderthals in the Levant were a resilient population that survived successfully in the region when modern humans reached it, again, some 60,000 years ago, end quote. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.